केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं भजे श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together, please. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So are you all comfortable with English? Or you want in Telugu? Telugu we can translate line by line. You want line by line translation? Subharapu, we can check In Telugu language, you check how many of them are not comfortable with English. Then we can have line by line. I can speak a shorter lecture. You can check. How many of them are not comfortable with English? They don't know English. Telugu, you have to check it in Telugu.
Telugu రానివాడు ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారమ్మా? ఇంగ్లీష్ రానివాడు సారీ ఇంగ్లీష్ రానివాడు తెలుగులోనే కావాలి అనుకున్నవాడు తెలుగులోనే కావాలి. ఇంగ్లీష్ లెక్చర్ ఓకేనా? ఇంగ్లీష్ అర్థమయ్యేవాళ్ళు ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు?
Most of them is all right. Hindi, ask Hindi.
Sir, you want it in Hindi?
English. English, I think majority understand English. If anybody want translation Telugu to English, they can come to one corner, you can call that.
Yes. ఇంగ్లీష్ లో అర్థం కావట్లేదు, కేవలం తెలుగులోనే కావాలనుకుంటే ఒక మూల కూర్చోండి, నేను అక్కడ ప్రభు చెప్పేది నేను తెలుగులో మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడం ట్రై చేస్తాను. అట్లా చేద్దామా లేకపోతే ఇంగ్లీష్ లో సెషన్ చేస్తున్నామా? ఇంగ్లీష్ లో చేస్తాం.
Hare Krishna. First of all, I thank His Grace Leelananda Prabhu and Subbarao Prabhu and many other leaders along with their wives and children who have put up this beautiful Rath Yatra festival today in this Green Grace campus. It was so beautiful. I especially loved the children Rath Yatra the most. Because I have the Raths that I have seen what children drive is only 1/3 of this size. But this was really big size, and also number of children were too many, plenty of children. So that Rath Yatra was preceding the Rath Yatra of the adult devotees behind. So they were so enthusiastic participating. And many of the residents of the Green Grace colony from the top, they were all pointing fingers to children. See, these children are going and we are so lazy to come out. They were saying. So that was a very nice thing. So Leelananda Prabhu and Anuradha Premataji, they have developed their community at Gachibowli so wonderfully. This is like a spiritual world. They have made a very, very beautiful group of couples and the children. It's like a big family. Now that one big family is expanding to various places, including Green Grace here. So the grace has come to Green Grace. Grace of Jagannath. I heard last 3-4 years Jagannath is coming here. Correct, no? Yeah. So, a very beautiful pamphlet was printed by Subbarao Prabhu and distributed to practically every house. And I am also deeply appreciative of all of you assembled devotees here. You have taken your valuable time this evening and come here. I am very thankful to you. Is my volume loud enough for those behind? Last row? Is it loud enough? Okay. So, I am going to briefly in 45 minutes or so share with you 6 tips to make our work worship. Alternatively, I call this talk as work can be holy, not a workaholic. So, we are living in the modern times when people are becoming workaholics, working 16 hours a day. So, how we can make our work holy, how we can sanctify our work. In India, surprisingly, people say, karma hi puja hai, people say. But how can karma be puja? Karma is work and puja is divine. So work is mundane and puja is divine. How can work become divine? When we work in alignment with the divine, supreme, then our work becomes divine. Otherwise it cannot be divine. So today we will see how our work can become worship. So first I am coming up with the activity for all of you. Let us see who will answer these questions. See, on the left side I have shown government of any country. On the right side, what you have to do, for each of these items you have to find the equivalent that you observe in this world. So for example, in India there is law and order. If somebody is stealing a bank or something, he will be arrested with the police, isn't it? If somebody breaks the traffic law, he will be fined. Similarly, in the universal creation also you will see, if somebody does some wrong thing, there is a punishment kept. Can somebody give an example for that? Yes? She is saying that the prison is arranged by the government. In the same manner, in the creation of God, can you think of certain things? If we do wrong things, we get punishment for that. Yeah? Yeah? Fire? Fine. Actually, where is the fine? Actually, in God's creation, what if you do, you are given fine. The fine is also arranged by the government only. Karma, yeah, karma. Example? She says karma. Correct. Example? For example, if somebody smokes a cigarette, what do they get? Lung cancer. Somebody chews tobacco, what they get? They get ulcers in the mouth. Somebody drinks liquor, more and more they drink, eventually they get liver cirrhosis. Isn't it? You will see that. Anything we do wrong, we have a punishment kept. You will see that. Who is giving that punishment? God, yeah. Let's get to nature. That's the first one. See, law and order is there in this world. Everybody doing some wrong thing, they get a punishment. You can see. And right thing you do, you get reward also. For example, you do pranayam, or you do yogasana. Yeah, or you take vegetarian food which is offered to God, prasad. Then you will see that your body becomes more light, more healthy, more happier. Is it not true? That means you walk the right path, there are benefits rewarded for you. You walk the wrong path, there are punishments kept. Correct or not? Isn't it? So that is called home ministry. Okay, now every government, like Indian government, is supplying medicines for the diseases. They have opened hospital and they do that. So in God's creation, is there medicine available in God's creation directly? Anybody? In nature? Herbs. She said, which herbs? You're right. Huh? Yeah? 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 Neem, she is saying. Okay, neem, tulasi, turmeric, all these things. So to put it more precisely, there are more than 3,000 medicines mentioned in Charak Samhita, Ayurveda. See, Ayurvedic herbs, naturopathy, go-work, all these things are kept in God's creation. So that when His children get sick, all of us are God's children. So He has kept arranged medicines in nature. Actually, Ayurvedic doctors, they cultivate these herbs and everything and they offer medicine based on that. Okay, the government is supposed to supply you water through municipality. Is it not true? In God's creation, is there arrangement for pure water, sweet water? Anybody else? From here I am getting a lot of answers. From that side it may take. Rains, yeah. So rain, what is rain? The salt water of the ocean is converted into sweet water. Correct, no? See, the ocean has a lot of water. Water everywhere, not a drop to drink. What is that? Ocean.
A well.
Yeah, well also. And the underground water, correct, no? But ultimately you will see well water and all can come only when there is rain shower. So God has created a vast ocean, but He has put a lock to the ocean. What is the lock? Salt. So can you drink ocean water?
No.
But if you want ocean water to become water from the rain cloud, which is sweet water, God converts ocean water to sweet water and gives you when you do yajna, which means acting for the pleasure of God. Yajna bhavati parjanyo, He says that in the Bhagavad Gita. And sometimes you find, today we were doing Sankirtan in front of Jagannath Rath and immediately there was rain. How many of you observed? Yeah. When you glorify God, there is rain. Long before in 1970s, Hyderabad was suffering from drought and famine. Everywhere there was dry. Farmers were committing suicide. At that time, Srila Prabhupada came. And Prabhupada said, oh, Hyderabad is so dry, people are so sad. So let us do Sankirtan. So 3-4 hours Prabhupada arranged for Sankirtan. And immediately there was a big downpour of heavy rain shower. And then in the paper, there was an article. Bhaktivedanta Swami brings rain to Hyderabad. Like that. So you will see, the salt water is converted to sweet water by God and then He gives through the rain shower. You can see that. If rain doesn't come, scientists try to arrange rain in Chennai. You know what happened? They arranged the silver cyanide. They said we will blow the clouds and bring it in top of Chennai city and then we will pour down by putting silver cyanide. When they blew the cloud and brought it with great difficulty, When they put sugar cyanide, only 1 or 2 bottles of distillery bottle size, that much only water they got. And again the clouds flew back. So they spent crores of rupees to get only few bottles of water, that's all. So one of my friends wrote an article, artificial rains, imaginary gains, real pains. You know. So you cannot artificially bring rain unless God is pleased with you. So in this way, God also is giving us rains. Ocean water, so that's what I told you. Fourth one, the government is supposed to supply grains, vegetables, milk, everything to the citizens, correct, no? In God's creation, is there arrangement for food of all living beings?
Yes, yes.
Where is it? Where is it arranged?
Plants.
Yeah. See, the morning you rise, go out in the garden and see, the sun shines, the cloud showers, the seasons change, the flower blossoms, the fruit ripens, the crops grow, the grains also fructify, the fruit, is it not true? So all these things is man doing or somebody else doing? God is doing it. Can you and I do these things?
No.
Have you ever seen the sun getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning and saying, sorry sir, I'm a little late today? We may get up late, sun doesn't get up late.
It's always on time.
It's always on time. Is it not true? Similarly, have you ever seen any man living for 10,000 years, he got missed out in the computer of Yamaraj? He's still living somebody? Everybody has to die on time, correct, no?
You have to give other people chances to live.
Who?
Other people should get chances to live.
Yeah, that is right. At the same time, nobody will be missed out, correct, no? Sun rises on time, sun sets on time, moon comes on time, wind blows, the fire burns, the death takes its toll, everything happens on time because in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said by the order of God sun rises. By the order of God, that is why he is called Jagannath. Why is he called Jagannath? He is not Orissanath, he is Nath of whole creation. Jagat means what? World. So he is the master of the whole world. Like you see, you are master of your small situation. You are in a small family. A man may have a wife and a child. He is master of a small family. But God is master of the whole universe. Similarly, headmaster is master for his school. The CEO is master for his company. The chief minister is master for his state. The prime minister is master for his country. But can anybody say I am master for all the planets? Can anybody say that? Only God can say that. Therefore we say Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Please all of you repeat. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. Arjuna, anyone who knows I am the master of all the planets and all the universes, anybody knows? And anybody knows I am the true friend of every living being. God says, then in this world there can be true peace, he says. Okay, let's go to the next one. Ministry of Social Welfare. See, Ministry of Social Welfare is supposed to supply you through the market and everything. They supply you food, grains, vegetable, milk. Just now I told you, God also supplies us. We all need air to breathe, is it not true? We need water to drink, we need grains to eat, milk and everything. It's all supplied. There is one verse in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. We'll repeat that verse also. Very important verse. All of you repeat after me. Maya adhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. See, Maya adhyakshena prakriti. The prakriti, I am the adhyaksha for prakriti. Krishna is telling. Anybody knows the meaning of the word adhyaksha? See, Adi means Adi means super from the top. Aksha means eyes. Supervision. That's called Adi Aksha. Or a president we say. No? So Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti, by my supervision, the nature is producing everything. Nature is producing grains, fruits, seeds, spices, all type of juices, everything I am producing and sending to my people, all the living beings, he is telling. Similarly, you see, Ministry of Energy in India produces electricity and lighting. Like all this light you get, it is produced by Ministry of India in the hydroelectric power station and they are sending it. Similarly, in God's creation, is there a facility for lighting? Anybody from behind? Let us hear from others. All children are answering other questions. I would like to hear from others. Is there a provision for lighting in this dark world? Anybody? Mic you can give if somebody wants. Sunlight, very good. Give her an applause. Yes, okay. Is sunlight the only light? Any other light we have? The fire and? Thunder. Okay, lightning doesn't give so much light, it comes and goes. Moon also, yeah. Sun and moon. Stars give very little light. Sun and moon, they give light. See, sun and moon. Okay, finance ministry in India is supposed to take care of the currency or wealth of the country, correct now? So what is the wealth in the nature? Anybody can think about? In God's creation, what is the wealth? Anybody? What is considered wealth? If you go anywhere in the world, any country will, what will they consider the wealth which they get from God's creation? Nature itself will wealth, huh? Okay, of course, nature gives many things, but in nature, what do you get? What is counted as wealth? Huh? Gold. Gold is correct. One is gold. What else? Pearls. Diamond also. Yeah, diamond, gold, silver, pearls, all those things. See, gold, silver, navaratnas, diamonds, they are considered as wealth in God's creation. They are very costly, correct now? They are very costly. Then health ministry takes care of hygiene and sanitation. In this world, is there a provision for hygiene, health and hygiene and sanitation by God's creation? Is there an arrangement or no arrangement? See, the sun evaporates the urine. Do you know that? Urine and sun evaporates. And the rain shower cleanses the whole world. You will see that. And the fishes and pigs, they eat the stool. So in this way, there is an arrangement in God's creation for cleaning. And also there are favorable bacteria also. Okay, let us see who can find out this one. Defense ministry protects us from danger. Like we have, an army, navy and air force, they give protection. Similar in God's creation for our protection, what is arrangement? Anybody knows? Yes? Huh? Animals. She's saying a dog gives protection to the house. Yes, that's one of the small protectors. But in the nature of God, there is a great protection. She is saying Himalayas are there so that the enemies cannot come in. Huh?
Himalayas asked to protect all the cold winds from coming.
Cold winds from coming, okay. But there is a great protection arranged in science. If you know, you will read it. Ozonosphere. Around there is a protection. It's like God's embrace for the jivas so that the ultraviolet rays cannot come in. But man is so foolish, he is sending out carbon monoxide from the automobile emissions and is producing holes in the ozone layer. But God has arranged the ozonosphere. Also, there is a blood clotting. If you see, if you cut your hand with a blade, immediately it will clot. It prevents the further blood from coming. Okay, education. In the Minister of Education is giving education. Where is education given by God? Anybody knows? Vedas, correct. See, Vedas, Bible, Quran, like that there are. Yeah, scripts, that's true, yeah. And the reward for the best citizens, I told you, benefits of yoga, meditation. And those who are living virtuously, they go to heaven. And those who become bhaktas, they go to spiritual world. Like that. And those who follow God's laws and scriptures, there are rewards kept. But why did I show this? I will tell all of you. On the left side, I have shown you government of any country. Right side, I have shown you universal government. For the left side, all these things to happen, there is one Narendra Modi ji, Prime Minister of India. Correct or not? For all the things in the right side to happen, can it happen by itself? Or is there somebody above? What do you think?
There's God.
Yeah?
God is above.
Yeah, God has to be above, isn't it? If somebody says there is no God, then how are these things happening? On the right side. Imagine if there is no Prime Minister of India, will India run on its own? If there is no education department, will education happen on its own? If there is no electricity and lighting, EB, electricity board is not there, will you get all the lights and everything? So you will see there are so many departments. Similarly in God's creation, Without
God there's no life.
Yeah, without God there is no life, she says. Give her an applause. Okay. So, this is the foundation. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayo. I am the light of the sun, the heat and light of the sun. And through the sun I am creating all these wonderful things. You see his creation. So he says, through the sun I am operating water and I am causing the rains to happen. And through the rains, the vegetables are produced. You see how many type of fruits, you see? Can man produce this type of fruits? Man can only produce one plastic mango, that's all. He can keep it in a showcase. You can't eat it. See God's creation, how he produces.
Is it actually edible?
And Pravasmi Shashisureyo, I am the light of the moon, he says. So in this way, all the nature is connected by him. So here in the very first lesson I am going to tell you, 6 lessons, brief lessons, but this is a very famous verse. What he is teaching Krishna here? He says you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. There is a noise coming. Can we close the door? Can we close the door? Yeah. You see, let me ask you a simple question. Say, I give you some wood, I give you some tools, and you cut and make a table for me. You are a carpenter. I want you to make a table, chair for me. I give you the wood, I give you a salary, and I give you all the tools. So after you make the table belongs to you or me. You heard my question? See, you are a carpenter. I am giving you wood. I am giving you tools. And then I am giving you salary to make the table. After you made the table belongs to whom? It belongs to me or you?
You.
Yeah. Who has supplied you? Correct, no? Because I am giving order for a table. Similarly, here the example what is given here is, God actually gives everything. Think about it. The brain that you carry, did you create the brain? Did you create the eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, all these things? Did you produce? Or did you produce all the elements in this world like manganese, sulfur? Like for example, this is the first lesson. See here, did you produce any of this? Can you produce? No. We cannot produce the eatables. And we cannot produce, see here, beautiful sweet prasad, Krishna prasad. None of this is creation of man, it is creation of God. Similarly, heat, sunlight, moonlight, air, rainfall, it's all given by him. Similarly, manganese, sulfur, iron, gold, silver, everything is given by him. So therefore the lesson is, so one of you read the lesson 1 here, see below. You have another mic. You have another mic here, or only one mic here? Read Prabhuji, you can read that? No, below, lesson 1.
Lesson 1. Everything is owned and controlled by the God. Thank him by offering the results of your work to the God. Thank you.
What is it? You give a little bit of your time every day, just like you all are giving your evening time today. Similarly, every day take out some time and chant God's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So every day chant 10 minutes. You see, this is Japamala. In this there are 108 manis are there. To chant 108 times will take you only how much time? Maximum 10 minutes. And keep a copy of Bhagavad Gita as it is. Do we have a book table if they want to take a copy of Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, we have. Take a copy of Bhagavad Gita. Read 1 page of Gita a day, 5 minutes. So 10 plus 5 minutes, how much?
15 minutes.
Out of how many hours in a day?
24 hours.
How many of you think it's not a big deal? You can give 15 minutes to God. Can give? How many, let us say? Only a few are raising hand. Is 15 minutes a big deal to give to God? Okay, thank you. So 5 minutes of 1 page of Gita and 10 minutes of Nama Japam. That's all. That much you give for God. So that's the first thing, time. An intake of food, whatever you eat, because you are not creating it, God is creating and giving you. You thank Him. That's called prasad, we call it. Offer to Him and say, thank you, my Lord, you are giving such nice eatables for us. Then offer a portion of your money for putting up festivals like this. Those are organizing. And or with a portion of your money, buy Bhagavad Gitas and distribute to others. Or cook some prasad and distribute to others. And also with your energy, do some seva. Today our children are pulling the rat, they were doing a seva. Isn't it? Similarly, some of the people have come together and cooked the prasada. That is also cooking as a cooking seva. Somebody has made garland, somebody has made decoration for the Lord, that's a seva. So in this way, 4 things you can offer to God in thankfulness. What are they? Your time, your intake of food, your money and energy. So I give you an acronym to remember. Time, you remember? So this is the first way you can connect your work to God, because you're taking everything from Him. You're taking these things, vegetables, fruit, cereals from Him. You're taking nice prasad. Then you're also taking heat, sunlight, moonlight, air, rainfall, everything.
We take so many things from God, but we never return something.
She's saying we are taking so many things from God, we are never returning anything. So therefore it is said, God gives and forgives, man gets and forgets. So, okay, then the second lesson comes here. See, once upon a time a farmer told God, oh my dear God, this growing these trees and plants is such a big deal for me, great difficulty. God said, what do you do? Who gave you the earth? God asked him. He said, oh God, you gave me the earth. He said, who gave you the seed? God said, the farmer said, you gave me the seed. God said, then who kept the potency in the seed to germinate and grow? That potency also you only kept. Then God asked him, who gave you the sunlight for the growth of the tree? You only gave, my God. Who gave the rain shower? You only gave. God said, then what are you doing? You are simply putting seed under the ground, that's all. You do 5% job and God does 95%. You can see that. So therefore, we should do our part, rest of it is in God's hands. So the soul and God are co-workers. For example, you can write the exam, but is the result in your hand? The teacher's hand. You can give an interview, but is the result of the interview in your hands? The panel has to choose you. You can sow the seed, but God has to give the rains. So therefore, we say, please all of you repeat, do your best and let Krishna do the rest. So that is the formula we have to follow. Generally people say, do your best and leave the rest. Leave the rest to whom? Leave the rest to Krishna. Therefore we say, do your best and let Krishna do the rest. Correct? Now he will do it. So you do your part and then Lord will do the second part. If you do your part. So that's the second lesson. See, everything is not in our hands. It's the first thing. Like pandemic time, the whole world realized that nothing is in our hands. We were all inside four walls. Is it not true? We couldn't just come out. Whole world was completely under the grip of pandemic. A small, tiny creature called the corona. You can't even see it with your eyes. It looks like a football. But it's very small size. You can't see with your eyes. Everybody was putting masks. And such a tiny creature was shaking the whole world. Even though we have made so much advancement in science and technology and medicine, is it not true? How many children died? How many youths died? In Delhi, so many people died. All the crematoriums are full. Then they had to burn the dead bodies in dogs' crematorium. You know that? So everything is not in our hands. We have little control, but God has all control in His hands. So so that's the second thing we should recognize. Like for example, see, when we were in the mother's womb, how our body grew up, we don't even have any idea at all. Like how many of you know your baby tooth fell and permanent tooth came? How many have you observed? Correct? Now one tooth you must have observed. But the grown-ups, you ask them, did you observe all the 32 teeth coming up one by one? You don't even keep track of that. Somebody is keeping track. Somebody is keeping track of that, isn't it? Yeah. Like you take a morsel of food and put in the mouth. When it goes down the throat, do you know what happens to that? When it goes to the belly, some gastric juice is mixed, and then it is converted into blood, and the blood goes to heart and pumped to all parts of the body, and then the waste product is sent out as stool and urine. So many things happen in the body. So therefore, we should know that our knowledge of our own body is very limited. If I ask any of you, how many hairs do you have on your head? Can you say? I'm not asking about somebody else. Your own head only. You won't be able to say. Because our knowledge of even our own body is very limited. So therefore, so that was the second lesson. Do your best and leave the rest to God. The third one talks about karma or work. You see, here there is a little story given. What is it? Good news and bad news from a pilot. A pilot was making an announcement. My dear passengers, we are 30,000 feet above the mean sea level, and I have a good news and a bad news for you, he said. He asked, what is it? The good news is that we have taken off safely and we are flying high. The bad news is we don't know where are we going, he said. So, yeah. Sometimes the plane is taken away due to turbulence, it loses its track sometimes. So the modern day society, many people are working hard, they're slogging so hard. One man in the West I heard, he was working 16 hours a day. His wife and children are repeatedly telling him, you're working 16 hours, you have no time, you're giving for the family. He didn't listen. So after 3, 4, 5 years, they got fed up and then the wife divorced and went away. Then the man also got suddenly some heart problem. He went to the doctor and he got a massive heart attack. So later on he was in ICU. So one of my friends told that when he was in ICU, he told my friend, neither I could take care of my health, nor I could take care of my family. Now although I have money in my pocket, I have no happiness, he said. And that is the situation of modern man, if you see. Life has become super busy. People don't know why am I doing what I am doing. See, without the goal of life, if somebody is working, is he not a fool? Say, for example, I tell you to play football. You ask me, sir, where is the goal post? I say, there is no goal post. You can kick the football as long as you want. On both sides. Will you play a football game like that? Without a goal post, can you play football? Without a goal, will you join a college? Say, somebody is joining college. And the college says that you have to keep on studying all life. We will not give you any degree. Will you join that? You have a 4 years engineering or 5 years MBBS or whatever. Without a goal, nobody leads life. But modern man is leading a life without any meaning or purpose. Therefore, we need to know, in the Gita, Lord Krishna says, work with the knowledge of goal of life. What is the goal of life? 2 goals, he says. Put a full stop to all your sufferings and go back to the spiritual plane from where you have fallen to the material plane. Spiritual plane, material plane, there are 2 planes. In the spiritual plane, the souls are all pure, like rainwater is pure. But when the rainwater falls to the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, we were all originally pure. But when we came to this world, we have become covered by some impurity. Just like, for example, imagine one of you, while entering this hall, you were wearing a socks which was stinking. Of course, none of your socks is stinking, don't worry, all of you are alright. But I'm just giving an example. If you are wearing a stinking socks, everybody will plug the nose. Why are you stinking? You are not stinking, your socks are stinking. But if you release the socks outside and wash your feet and come, you are alright. Similarly, the soul is pure, but is covered by an impure mind. And the good news for us is, the impure mind is washable, cleanable, as much as the socks is cleanable and washable. So, by chanting this Hare Krishna, I told you a few minutes ago, you can wash the mind, clean the mind, and make it calm, cool, collected. So, what the Bhagavad Gita says, the goal of life is, in this world we are all miserable, suffering because of impure mind. We trouble others, we trouble ourselves also. Everybody is troubling one another. Like mosquito comes and sits and puts his needle and sucks blood. And then by the time you want to beat it, it goes away. And then you take an electric bat, like that you roast the mosquitoes. Correct, no? So who is giving trouble to whom? Is mosquito giving trouble to you, or you are giving trouble to mosquito?
Depends on the situation.
Both are giving trouble to one another. Correct, no? Yeah, that's correct. Who said that both? Huh? Oh, very good. Give her an applause. Small side. In this way, everybody is giving trouble to everybody else. You will see that. Yeah. So, now, if you want to put a full stop to all the suffering, there are sufferings from your body as diseases, suffering from the mind like depression and inferiority complex and all that, suffering from other living beings like mosquitoes or pickpocketers or terrorists and all that. Then there are also suffering from the natural calamities like pandemic and what do you call it? New Orleans, we had this typhoon and all those things. So if you want to put a full stop to all the sufferings, then once you turn to Gita. Therefore I told you, study at least 1 page of Gita every day. In Gita, Lord Krishna teaches how to purify your mind, put a full stop to your sufferings, and go back to your original plane from where you have fallen, which is a happy position where there is no old age, disease, or death, and the souls are all pure and they lead a very happy life. So that was the third one. That means work with knowledge of the goal of life. You see, and also the fourth lesson is give up unholy professions. Like for example, a goat or a chicken, if you see, they are also eating, we are also eating. They sleep, we also sleep. They reproduce, we reproduce. And if somebody tries to kill them, they defend and we also defend. How are they different from us? They are also like our younger brothers. And they are also citizens of the same country. The word praja, when you say Praja means people born in one country are called Praja. So king protects the Praja like all the human beings, but animals and birds are also born in the same land. The motherland for them is same. How can we kill them? Huh? In each living body lives a spirit, soul, Atma. That Krishna teaches in Gita. Just like every car is driven by a driver. Like the body is driven by whom? By Atma, by spirit, soul. Huh? Atma is driving this body. When Atma leaves the body, then the body is called dead. Huh? Actually, Shankaracharya sang one very beautiful prayer. Yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayu deha paye bharyam vibhyati tasmin kaye bhaja govindam govindam bhaja Muramate. He says, as long as Atma is present in the body, people will come and ask you, how do you do? And you will also say, I am fine and everything. But when the Atma leaves the body, then the body is called dead body. It has no more life. And the Atma, Krishna says, you can't cut Atma with scissor. Krishna says, you cannot burn Atma, you cannot dry Atma, you cannot moisten Atma. Atma never dies. God never dies, Atma never dies. So, there is a story of Narada who went to Lanka and Ravana demanded him to teach Brahma Vidya, Raja Vidya, king of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Narada said, I don't teach to anybody and everybody. I only teach to people who are humble. You are arrogant, why should I teach you? So Ravana became angry and he took his sword like that he cut Narada's body. Guess what happened to Narada? Nothing happened to him because Narada had a spiritual body. Imagine if there is a beam of light. If you cut it through a sword, nothing is going to happen to it. Similarly, we also have a spiritual body. Every one of us sitting here. But that spiritual body is now trapped in this material body. Like a bird put in a cage. Or like a driver sitting in a car. We are seated in this bodily machine. So Krishna says that if you get out of this machine and go back to Godhead, that is the ultimate goal of life, he says.
Your body stays on earth and the Atma goes to God.
The material body is burned in fire and Atma goes to the next body. Of course, Atma will go to that body depending on what mentality you have developed. So I will show you one interesting thing here, you can see.
All say one. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and last number is 10. Give me answer. Big. 1 plus 1. 3 plus 2. 5 plus 1. 7 plus 1. Now, give me answer. 5 minus 2. 5 minus 1. 5 minus 4. 6 minus 3. 7 minus 4. 8 minus 4. 8 minus 3.
So, all of the children observed you told correctly or not? So, how this? Have you ever seen a dog doing mathematical calculation like this? See, this dog is not a trained dog. Right from birth it is doing it. If dogs are trainable, all Americans would want to train their dogs. Because Americans are very fond of Dogs, correct now? Now in India also people are walking with the dogs, many times you see. But no dog can be trained like this. Because this must have been a mathematics teacher, some mistake he did. Some blunder he did, he got into the dog's body now. Carrying the same mind he has brought. So that is how the Atma also goes from one body to another. Now I show you another interesting thing. See, generally children speak at what age? They start speaking? Yeah?
At the age of 4 to 3. The first one is supposed to be one.
Mother's known. Mother is known. At what age child starts speaking?
2 months?
1.5? Actually 1.5 they just say blah 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 they say. But they actually start speaking at 2.5. Meaningfully they start speaking. I show you a child who is only 6 months only. Huh? You can see what this child is doing. You can see.
Namamishwaram Satchidananda. Namamishwaram Satchidananda. Lasat Kundalam Gokule Braj. Yashoda Vyolukha Labda. Vamanam Paramrishta Madhyanta Tutrute Gopya Rudantamo Hornetra Yuma Vajantam Karamboji Yudmena Shatanka Nitram Mumoshwaka Tambadri Rekhanka Kancham Stagabhav Damodaram Bhakti Patham Iti Draksva Leeladhir Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajjanta Makhya Payantam Tadeyeshu Tagneshu Bhakta Chitatvam Chitatvam होता है जित्यम नहीं होता है पुनः प्रेम दृष्टम भक्षता
So you saw this side? So how many actually know Damodar Ashtakam? You know it? You know Damodar Ashtakam? Yeah. So child spoke correctly or not? No. So from that what you learn, this child must have been a Krishna devotee before. He must have sung this song several times. Because he is now 5 months old child. He is recollecting the song exactly. You can see that. Therefore, what we do in one lifetime, we carry forward to the next life. Huh? So at the time of death, the soul carries the mind. In the mind is stored Sugandha Vasana, Sugandha Karma Vasana and Durgandha Karma Vasanas. They carry good and bad Vasanas. So the dog's body, the fellow who occupied, he was carrying Durgandha Karma Vasanas. Karma Vasanas. And the child whom you saw just now, he was carrying good spiritual Karma Vasanas he is carrying. Therefore he is getting such a body. Actually these two are not the only videos. I have many more videos like this. Collected from various places. Children's, one deer also, who went to Pandharpur, 2 full days it walked. And then in Pandharpur it went and attended all the Pagran Kirtan. It was not ready to leave the Bhaktas there. Which means he must have been in devotee's body before. So why I am saying this, it's very important that we understand that the Atma is moving from one life to another. Why are we going through many bodies? Because God is giving us multiple chances to purify our mind. When mind is 20% purified, next life you start from 21%. If you have finished 60% purified, like I told you the stinking socks example I gave you, then start from 61%. If you have done 90% purified, you are very saintly. In the next life, Shankaracharya took sannyas at the age of 6. Because you must be like 90-95% purified, very advanced souls. They are able to understand God very easily. And when 100% purified, you go back to the spiritual plane, Vaikuntha plane. From there you never come back. You are with God, with all the living beings, very happily there. So therefore, we should know the work that will lead us to God. And here you see, give up unholy professions like meat, fish, eggs, or intoxication like alcohol, drugs, tobacco and all, gambling, or illicit sex, sex outside marriage and all these things. One should give up these dirty, impure activities, and these activities are all counted as unholy in the Vedic literature. Dyutam Panam. If you want to remember this, you can remember Gimi, G-I-M-I. Gambling, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication. Remember the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna. This I already told you. And this is one of the easiest ways to purge the impurities in the mind. The meaning of this mantra is very simple. Oh Lord, purify my mind. Elevate me. Accept me. Just like a child calls the mother, like that. So yoga means connecting with God. Just connect through this chant, like we were singing today when we were doing the. Anybody, doctor, engineer, housewife, anybody can do this. Man means mind, Tra means freedom. It gives you freedom to your mind and peace to your mind. And you go to the yellow zone, which is called the alpha zone, by chanting the holy name. So there are many people saying many things. Okay, there are many things. I will just keep that and go to the next lesson. So dovetail your talents and profession and offer them in God's service. Like here you see, on the top right you find Rishikesh Mafatlal. He is a devotee, and that is one is Seema Balzwan at this side. So they are all industrialists. They earn a lot of money. They also offer a lot of money in service to God by distributing prasad, distributing Bhagavad Gitas like that. Then there are some others who are doing kirtan. Then there are girls who are dancing Bharatanatyam. Now you saw the two girls who are dancing Bharatanatyam in glorification of Krishna, isn't it? Some are distributing books. Some are going on yatra. Some are doing gardening for God. I said all our activities can be sanctified by connecting them to God. If you do gardening and make some flowers and offer it to God, that is your service to God. If you cook some food and offer to God, that is your service to God. Make a garland and offer Him, that's your service. So that is Bhakti Yoga, very simple. So these are the 6 things I spoke today. One of you can read it. Who has the mic with you? Who has the mic? You can read the 6 lessons here, please. If you raise your hand, mic will come to you. Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. The mic.
6 tips to make our work worship.
1.
Work with knowledge that everything belongs to God.
Yeah, that's the first thing I spoke today. Yeah. Second.
Work
Beautifully.
Without greed. Do your best. Leave the rest to God.
Yeah, correct.
Work with knowledge of goal of life. Give up unholy professions. Try to remember God by chanting Hare Krishna.
Dovetail.
Dovetail your talents and profession and offer them in Lord's service.
Yeah, that's it. So, very simple. The first thing I elaborately spoke to you about everything is creation of God and we don't create any of this. We are taking from Him. And the second one, the Ishopanishad, Sri Ishopanishad, it is said that, if you have a sack of rice left on the road, a sparrow will eat little bit and go away. Dog will eat little and go away. When a man comes, will eat little and go? What do you think he will do? He will take the whole sack.
Money. When people drop money on the road, they don't return it to the person, they just go.
Yeah, he'll take it and go. Therefore, Gandhi said, in this world there is enough for everyone's need, but not for one man's greed, he said. So, therefore, each of these points is explained in different places in Bhagavad Gita. If you read how to connect all our work to God and ultimately attain perfection. I finished very quick because I want to take at least for 5-10 minutes questions from all of you. Anybody wishes to ask a question, you can give the mic to them. Yeah. Anybody? If you raise the hand, mic will come to you. Okay?
What we do? We ask the question or we ask?
You can ask a question. If anybody has a question. Yeah. So this Rath Yatra which was organized by a team of devotees headed by Subhara Prabhu living in this colony. And he is inspired by Leelananda Prabhu and his good wife Anuradha Priya Mataji. They are very active members of our ISKCON Abids temple, which is in Abids. You all know Abids? ISKCON Abids, yeah. ISKCON Abids temple, where we have Shri Radha Madan Mohan temple. It's a very ancient, old temple. Srila Prabhupada installed those deities way back in 1972, 1971-72. So, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON Society, his guru told him that Indians are becoming very forgetful of God and they are uninterested in Vedic knowledge. because they are imitating the West. So you go to the West and give the knowledge to people in the West, then Indians will wake up, he said. So then Prabhupada went to West in 1965 and he revolutionized the whole world by chanting of Hare Krishna. You see, he conducted Rath Yatra. I'll just show a short video of Prabhupada and Rath Yatra. This is in San Francisco. Yeah, just one. Yes, sir. This is San Francisco. First Rath Yatra. So, although his age was 70 when he went to the West, even in that age, he did such a great revolution. Generally, people think you are a retired man, you can't do much. You just sit at home and take the grandson for a walk. But Srila Prabhupada, even at that age, he propagated this Hare Krishna in the West, and then it came to India. And now all over the world, there are 1,000 centers now. The Hyderabad one we have in ISKCON, which all of you are welcome. And we also have programs right here in this colony also, correct? Subarapur. Yeah. So this Rath Yatra festival, what we celebrated today, you might have seen in Rath Yatra 3 personalities, Krishna, Balaram and his sister Subhadra, sitting in the middle. Now why do we do this type of festival? It has a very deep spiritual significance also. You see, there is God in the office, God at home. Just like our Prime Minister of India, he sits in the parliament in Delhi, but he also goes to his home. But there is a big difference between parliament and home. Do you agree? In the parliament, when Narendra Modi comes, if you see everybody salutes him, if you see, the army people, navy people, air force people, everybody salutes. He gets a lot of respect. But when he comes home, he is bowing down to his mother. You have seen that? His sister, his brother, mother. It's an intimate relationship. If you want to know what is a sabji or vegetable that Prime Minister likes the most, you can't know it unless you ask his mother. Correct, no? In the same manner, Krishna has 2 places, Dwaraka and Vrindavan. So Dwaraka is like his parliament and Vrindavan is like his home. So which one is more dear to you, of school or home? Children will ask, you like school or home? Yeah, correct, no? So naturally you like the home more. So Krishna's favorite home is which place? Which is Vrindavan. It's called Vrindavan. So Vrindavan, cows and calves, deers and peacocks, monkeys, birds, gopas, gopis, Nanda, Yashoda. This is spiritual world. All are constantly in love with him and they are all affectionately, the gopas are dancing with him, the gopis are cooking for him, they are making garland for him, so many things. Even the cows and calves are attracted to him. He plays on the flute and attracts everybody. So at one time, at the age of 11, he leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura and Dwaraka. On this day, Rath Yatra day, all the Vrajavasis are inviting him back to Vrindavan. They say that you have left your home and went to office, now come back to home. We want you back at home. So when Krishna once came to Kurukshetra, Not because he's put him on chariot like this. Krishna, Balaram and Subhadra. And why the Murtis are looking different than Krishna? You may think big eyes and strange forms. In our temple, when we took Jagannath, we put a mukut on him when he's going out of the temple. But then when he goes to Vrindavan, they break all his mukut. They say, you don't need a mukut, you just wear a turban and wear a peacock feather. So, Krishna is more homely when he goes to Vrindavan. For example, a military officer, when he goes to army, he carries a gun, he has a cap, he wears pant shirt and everything, he has strips, color strips and stars and all. But when he's at home, he's not going to show gun to his family members. At home, like Krishna at home is playing on the flute, he has no weapons. Whereas when he goes to parliament, he's a Vishnu, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, everything is carrying. So that is the significance of this. So there is a verse which says, Ate Vamanam Vishwa Punarjanmana Vidyate. If anybody sees Jagannath, they will never get Punarjanma in this world again. They will get purified and go back to God, it is said. Or if somebody pulls the chariot of Jagannath, today all of you are pulling with the ropes, Jagannath. So that's how your spiritual life begins. If you haven't come across devotees, when you go to the Jagannath Rath Yatra, you see the devotees, you hear the kirtan, you take prasad, you hear a lecture, you buy a book, chant Hare Krishna, and your life is perfect. You attain all perfection. So, generally the murtis in the temple, they don't come out. The Mulavar, we have Mulavar and Utsava, we call it. Utsava is small deity and Mulavar is a big deity. Have you ever seen big deities coming up? Balaji or Ranganath, we don't bring up. Only Jagannath is the only Murti who comes out in the temple. Why? Because he wants to show compassion to all the suffering souls. He goes out in the streets. People who are lazy to go to temple, he comes to them. He goes to their home, goes to their office and invites them to become devotees. So that's the significance. So I also, somebody had a question? Yeah, please tell me.
Every mother gives birth to a child, but who created God?
That's a good question. See, within this universe there is a flow of time. Correct? Huh? There is time. Time implies change. There is yesterday, today and tomorrow. Because time is changing. But outside this universe there is no time. It's called eternity. And that place there is no change. Right now you see your body was a small baby. Now you are a little girl. Then you will grow up, isn't it? Whereas outside this universe, the bodies don't change. The soul and God, they have fresh bodies, youthful bodies, which never gets old, never gets disease. So God was never created. So we will recite one shloka. You all can repeat this verse. Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's saying Anadir, that means Krishna has no beginning. Adir is the beginning of everything. Just like, for example, one bogie is pulled by the previous bogie in a train, correct, no? And that bogie is pulled by the previous bogie. If you go ahead, the first bogie is which one? Engine. So engine, who is pulling? Nobody is pulling. Krishna is like that. He is the cause of everyone else, but he has no other cause. That's the meaning of God.
He has no beginning and no end.
No beginning and no end, yeah.
God is knowledge.
So, he's asking, is there a time in Vrindavan? But the time is subordinate to Krishna. Yeah. See, this is a mantra. Please all of you repeat 3 times. We will chant this, okay? Together we will chant. You all are ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. See, if you don't have mala with you, you can chant with fingers like Gayatri mantra we do. See, for example, this is 1. All of you try this finger, the second finger, 1. This is 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as soon as 10 are over, you fold one finger here. Okay. Then in each of this knot, you have to chant one full mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Very good. So how many have to learn to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So second 10 you finish, you close this. So if you 5 times you do, it becomes how many? 50 are over. Then when you do 10 more, you release this. 1. Then 10 more, release this. 10 to, so how many are over? 100. Then you do 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many are over? You can sit in a park and do it. You can do it in the afternoon time, evening time, morning time, night time. You don't even need mala also. Wherever you are, you can sit and do this kind of chanting 108 times. Try it for a week, 108. How many of you think 108 times per day you can try for a week? You can give a try. How many of you think? There are very few hands up. 10 minutes a day. How many of you think? Yeah. Just for coming 1 week you try. And then if you don't like it, you give it up after that. Okay? How many of you can give a try? 100 times for 1 week. Oh, now good hands are up. Thank you. You see, God has given us so much. What will we lose by chanting this name 108 times? So, you can chant. And here in this, if you have any doubts, you can write to me. I will connect you to the programs. And in my YouTube channel, I have put many, if you want to learn Gita, in 108 sittings, 30 minutes, it's called Gita Amrita Bindu. You will get it in 108 sittings, the whole Gita. Or if you don't have so much time, 18 chapters in 18 sittings, called Gita Radheshyam. You will get it. So you can go to the channel and you can see, okay? Anybody had a question here? Somebody had a hand up? Your question is already over. Any of the adults, grown-up members here, you would like to ask a question? You can do 3 things. Either ask a question or speak a reflection based on what you heard and understood today, or recollect one example or point, what you remember. Okay? Give the mic to them. Another 5 minutes. Children have already participated. Now I want to give chance to the others. So you can show it. If somebody wants, they can take it.
Anybody want to ask?
And they can recollect a point also.
Or you can even share a reflection what you heard in the last 1 hour. That's what
Yes.
Vijay was saying. What is something which touched your heart? What is something which you feel like you take it home and reflect again tomorrow?
There is one hand up. Why can be sent there? You can pass it on, yeah. What's your good name?
Harish.
Harish, okay. Harish ji will tell us. Yes, Harish.
Prabhuji, I want to share a reflection which you have said that, which I felt it's very thoughtful. Without a goal, you said that goalkeeper, no meaning to play.
Yeah.
So if you imply anything in your real-time life, it's very meaningful. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Give him an applause. Thank you. Good point. Good point. Anybody else? Anyone? Another point? If anybody raises hand, mic will come to you, okay? Huh? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Give it to her. Any one more? Children have spoken. Although many children are raising hand. Go there.
Okay, very good.
What's your good name? What's your good name?
My name is Milesh.
Nilesh, okay.
Yeah, the good point I like about it, you explained that it will progress like 20% and next life we might start with 21.
Correct.
So, but like the body starts again, and then again we have to start ABCD is good, the college degree again.
Correct.
We have done
Very laborious.
in this life we have again start with ABCD next.
That is a laborious thing. Yeah.
So whereas spiritual life is like you start from the next.
Correct. He's made a good observation. What he says, the material life, whatever he gained, even if I'm at, like I am IITian from Bombay, So next lifetime when I am taking birth as a child, I can't come with my IT degree and say, in previous life I got an IT degree. Can I come? I have to start with Baba Black Sheep, correct? Huh? Whereas, as he said, spiritual knowledge means we have done 20%, you start from 21%. We have done 80%, start from 81%. That means spiritual progress is never diminished. It is always carried forward by the soul. Huh? Just like in a bank, if you put 5 lakhs, when you add more money, it starts with 5 lakhs. After that, 6th lakh, it starts like that. Like that. Good observation, very good. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sampath Kumar. What you said is right that you can carry on your spiritual beings, what you have, whether it is 1% or less than that, on to the next life. I have seen the baby crying and reciting or nodding to the Krishna mantras. But first time I have seen a dog carrying on the knowledge, even though it's not spiritual, but unless the spiritual thing is there, it really cannot carry on the knowledge of addition or subtraction. This is really
Fascinating.
unexplainable.
Correct. Actually, Ian Stevenson is a doctor from University of West Virginia. He says some material skills are also carried forward by the soul in the same mind. See, generally in the mind, it's covered generally when you go to the next life. But some inherited skills, it's not inherited from the previous life. Huh? Like the shloka the child remembered. Similarly, the dog is able to remember the maths, that impressions of the maths are there. But why God is allowing the dog to remember? So that people can develop faith in the process of reincarnation. Because once reincarnation is understood, then all the Vedic literature become all important. Because many people don't know what is reincarnation, how the soul goes from one body to another. Like all of you are wearing one dress today, tomorrow morning you will remove this and wear another dress. Like that Krishna gives this example in Gita. Just as we all change dress every day, the soul changes bodies. Sometimes in a human body, sometimes in an animal body, sometimes tree's body, sometimes in Devata's body. And if you have done punya, you get a handsome body, you are born in a rich family, you get good education, you get good food, you have good health. But if you have done pop, sinful activities, then we get ugly body, we have illiteracy, we have body with diseases, born in a slum or something like that. So then people generally think I should do punya. So, but punya and pop will again and again bring us back to that material world. But if we do chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping God, reading Gita, then it becomes spiritual, which is beyond punya and pop. It will take us to Vaikuntha, from where we will never come. But on the other hand, if you do punya, you go to heaven. And then punya will gradually get over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Again you come back. If you have done pop, -3, -2, -1, 0. Again you come. But when you do spiritual activity, then you go back to ultimate destination. That's the reason we are telling about this thing. So, in very good point he collected. Good. Thank you. So please remember this. A, B, C, D, E. It's a very good concluding point for you. Please all of you repeat. A for association. God, what you are doing today is called association. You are coming and learning something about Gita. B for Bhagavad Gita. C for chanting Hare Krishna. D for devotional diet. Please repeat, devotional diet. It's called prasada. And E for engagement in seva. Now who will remember all the 5? Okay, A for B for C for D for and E for. So if you do these 5 things, these are spiritual completely. This will directly take you to Vaikuntha. Just this doing these 5 things. Regularly, weekly, once you come for a program, our Subbaravji is arranging. Where is it, Prabhu, venue? My home avatar. How far is it from here? 2 kilometers from here. And my home avatar is giving a program. In Green Grace, you don't have a program here. If many are ready to come, you can start here also, right? So if many of you wish to have monthly once or twice, if you want a program, he can arrange. He is a very learned devotee who gives classes, like Viranko trained him very well. So, if you wish to have program here weekly, he will do it. Weekly or once in 2 weeks or once in a month. So, that is association. D for reading Bhagavad Gita 1 page a day, I told you. C for chanting 1 round 108 times a day. And D for devotional diet. Now, you all will be taking prasadam after this. And E is engagement in seva. Many Mataji is cooked. I heard also for the prasad, and also 108 items are made. 108 items are made by many of the devotee ladies. Many have made garlands. So one can imagine so. And you had a question, Maji, and she has a question. Give the mic to her.
If I can say, many Matajis worked so hard. They did Rangoli,
Correct,
they
Rangoli
did
also.
earth decoration,
Correct.
they cooked food for Jagannath,
Yeah.
they did wonderful pot painting,
Yeah.
they did sloka recitation, so many
And
nice
I heard
things.
Subbarao told me that there was a competition for children also.
Yes, they did very nice sloka recitation.
Graduation also, yeah, correct. And the pots were given to them, and they are supposed to make. Where are the pots?
You can see their Prabhu on the side. Very, very
correct.
beautiful paintings.
Yeah. I think the best pots are going to get some prizes also.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, she has a question. Yeah.
Prabhuji, every person come to this world with a purpose.
Yeah.
So how do you know what is your purpose to come to this world?
Actually, we all have come to this world to enjoy something separate from God. I'll tell you a simple example. You know the story of Hansel and Gretel story? Hansel and Gretel, in school days we have studied. Once a brother and sister, they told that the parents are always sending us to school. Study is very boring. Let us run away from home. So brother and sister, they ran away from home to the forest. And the forest, they climbed up a tree top. The brother climbed up. And from there he saw one hut. The hut was made of cakes and cherries. And the walls of the hut were made of Britannica biscuits and crunched biscuits like that. So he told his sister, wow, that's a very beautiful place. Come, let's climb on the rooftop and eat. So both brother and sister climbed up and they started eating the cake, eating the cream, enjoying. And as the hole was formed, inside they saw an old witch. She was making a big frying pan with hot oil. And then she looked at the children and said, hey children, very soon I am going to fry you in this oil like a puri and eat you up. She said. Immediately the two children jumped off and ran back to home. And they understood forest is a dangerous place. They ran back home. In the same manner, now the mother and father are well-wishers of the children. They are never harmful. But the children who are lazy to study in the school and do homework and all, they think we want to be independent. Similarly, we are also happy with God in the spiritual world. But because love implies free will. Free will means either you love and serve Him and be with Him. Like you see in Krishna Lila, Krishna is the center. And Ram Lila, Rama is the center. Everybody is serving Ram except Ravana. Similarly, everybody is serving Krishna except people like Shishupal, Duryodhana and people like that. Similarly, the spiritual world, those who wanted to be independent, the children want to be independent of the parents. Like that, those who have come, those are the jivas who are roaming in this world. We are also like that. Now, when you hear the Bhagavad Gita, you understand that I have come to a wrong place. Just like those two children realized. They ran back to home. So now we have to run back to Vaikuntha from where we have come. And how do we run back? This ABCD we have to do. Very simple. Regularly you have a weekly program where you learn more about this. And also read Bhagavad Gita one page a day at least. Chant Hare Krishna. Eat. Whatever you are eating, you tell the Lord that till now I was eating without offering to you. But today onwards I always Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Offer to Him, bow down to Him, thank Him, and then you accept. And then engage in some seva from the other senior ladies, learn from that. So in this way you will see our life through Bhakti Yoga is very easy to purify the heart and go back to God. Is it clear? Thank you. That was a good question to us. Why have you come here? Thank you. Now it's getting late now. We can give the prizes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, let us thank His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, 3 level and enthusiastic.